champion New England Patriots victory parade in Boston scheduled for today. John Sappochetti, Boston Herold Drive Radio, has been with us many times throughout the course of this season and joins us here on Big Board Sports on this Tuesday morning. Good morning to you, John. How are you today?
Good morning, Raj. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's the itinerary today for the world champions?
Well, the parade starts at 11 o'clock at the Prudential Center, and then it's about, I would say, a 2.5-mile trek along Tremont and Boylston to get you to City Hall Plaza. It's snowing right now. It's really not great weather. 2 years ago when they had the parade, it wasn't snowing that day, but we had been in the middle of getting like 9 feet of snow in a 5-week period, so they had to move a lot of snow around to have the parade. Unfortunately, they couldn't have it tomorrow because the weather's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow, but the players want to kind of get to where they're going. People are excited for it, but it's the 5th championship parade for the Patriots now in the last 15 years, so it's almost like the city plans for it every third year.
Yeah, I was just going to say to you, my follow-up question was, has the novelty kind of worn off here? They're really used to having these kind of parades in Boston.
Well, I think this one is kind of special because you can justify each of these 5 championships. The first one was the one that broke through and made these other 9 happen in a sense, because if you remember, Boston had not won a championship since 1986, and then in February of 2002, the Patriots broke through. We know it was several months after 9/11, there was that patriotic feel. So the first one is always special. 03 kind of validated that because they didn't make the playoffs in 02. 04, I still think their best team back-to-back. That really solidifies a dynasty. And then there was a 10-year period where they couldn't quite win the Lombardi Trophy. They lost twice to the Giants, including that undefeated season. 2 years ago, that's the one that really resonates because that was Brady and Belichick's 4th. So now Brady was equal with Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana, and of course Belichick was equal with Chuck Noll with those 4 Lombardi trophies. This one seems just as special, if not more special, because now Brady and Belichick stand alone with 5 Super Bowl championships. The other thing, too, of course, is Deflategate, that Tom Brady missed the first 4 games of this season, suspended by Commissioner Roger Goodell. So that really ignited the fan base. And this championship feels like it's more for the fans who supported Tom Brady and the Patriots more than any other.
John, 28-9, a couple minutes to go in the third quarter, and New England gets their first touchdown of the game. What were you thinking? Did you think they could get all the way back? You've been following and covering this Patriots team all season long.
I really didn't. I mean, I'll be honest with you, this team has been tough throughout the season, but they really never faced a deficit like that against a team that was playing so well through the first 2.5 quarters, the Atlanta Falcons. And it wasn't just the fact that could the Patriots get to 28, it's could they keep Atlanta off the scoreboard. I mean, the Falcons had 28 points midway through the third quarter, and it didn't seem like they were going to be stopped. But then from that point forward, the Atlanta offense essentially went to sleep, and the Patriots defense had something to do with that. How does a team that has 28 points midway through the third quarter from that point forward only have 5 rushing attempts? I think that has to fall on offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. I think as much as the Patriots were incredible in winning this game, coming back from a 25-point third quarter deficit, you have to lay some of the blame, if not more of the blame, on Kyle Shanahan, head coach Dan Quinn, and the way they approached this in the final quarter and a half. Of course, overtime, it was a fait accompli. Once the Patriots got the ball, you knew they were going to score.
John, if you were looking at a percentage point out of 100, what percentage do you assign credit to the Pats, and what percentage do you assign blame to the Falcons? And you can't choose 50-50.
I can't choose 50-50. I don't like to do 50-50 because we know that's not good radio, right? The easy one would be 51-49 because it was Super Bowl 51. I'm going to say it was 55% the Patriots because as many opportunities they got, they took advantage of it, right? I mean, you can give a team an opportunity, but they still have to take advantage, and the Patriots did. So I'd say 55%, an incredible comeback by the Patriots. They deserve the credit for that, but 45% that Atlanta did everything wrong, especially in the final quarter. I mean, guys, if they make a couple of just smart plays, nothing out of the ordinary, just smart plays, run the football on 3rd and 1 rather than going back to pass and having Matt Ryan sacked, fumble, recovery New England, which led to a touchdown that cuts it to 28-20. And then when you're down at the 22-yard line, run the ball 3 times, kick a field goal, go up by 11. There would have been about 3 minutes left. Belichick would have to start using those timeouts. As great as Brady is, scoring twice in a 3-minute period, nearly impossible. If they had just done that, keep it simple, stupid, they would probably be the world champions today. So I think it's 55% that the Patriots still showed their toughness, their resolve by winning this game, but 45% has to go to the Atlanta Falcons for, quite frankly, choking.
Yeah, John, I mean, look, we're talking with John Sappochetti, Boston Herold Drive Radio. To me, that the sequence you're talking about, the 22-yard line, when all they needed to do is run a couple running plays, and you're going to kick a field goal and go up by 11, now you really put New England in an almost impossible spot to come back and win that game. So when Dan Quinn goes back and looks back at the play calling and what they did then, exactly what you said, that they are going to have a lot of second thoughts.
It's going to be a long off season for the Atlanta Falcons, and I think you could look through this entire run by the Patriots, 5 Super Bowls in 15 years, and this is not to knock them, to disparage them. 3 of those Super Bowls, you can make a case that the teams they beat, St. Louis in Super Bowl 36, Seattle in Super Bowl 49, the Falcons 2 days ago, I wouldn't say necessarily handed it to them, but they had a major role in the Patriots winning that game. They, quite frankly, all got out of their own element throughout those games. The wins over Carolina and Philadelphia in Super Bowls 38 and 39, those were deserved by the Patriots. They earned those wins. Not that they didn't earn these other 3 Super Bowls. It's just that the Rams, Seahawks, and Falcons seem to be ready, willing, and able to hand it to them. And you know what? Like a great team, the Patriots took advantage of it all 3 times.
Hey, John, one more for me. How do you think Tom Brady handled everything? And we all know what went on with Deflategate. How do you think he handled the very murky situation with Roger Goodell here, the commissioner of the NFL?
I think he handled it like Tom Brady handles everything. He handled it with class. He served that 4-game suspension. He didn't want to, but as we found out last week, part of the reason that he said no mas was that his mom had taken ill, and he thought that he didn't want to put her through more court dates and all of that. He's very close with his family. He worked his butt off like he does every single day, came back and had an MVP caliber season. Guys, the guy had 28 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions in 12 regular season games. That's phenomenal for anyone, let alone a 39-year-old quarterback. Throughout the week, the whole Super Bowl week was about him. We saw him tear up when he talked about that his hero is his dad. He talked about his mom's illness. He had to answer questions about his friendship with President Trump, and through it all. And then after a pretty tough start to that game into the second quarter with the pick 6, to get up off the ground and do what he did in the second half is just phenomenal. And that's why, as much as I'm a Joe Montana fan, as much as I love so many quarterbacks that have played in the Super Bowl era, there's no question right now that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of the Super Bowl era. And I think now you start to make comparisons. Is he one of the top 5 players in the history of sport, along the likes of, say, a Jim Brown or a Jerry Rice? He's in that discussion.
I don't think there's any question about it. Hey, John, I know you got a busy day ahead with the parade and all of that. Thanks for a few minutes here on ESPN Radio in Albany.
Anytime, guys.
Thank you, John. John Sappochetti, Boston Herold Drive Radio.